was very simple, that it just says that it can either be a terminal followed by any kind of non-terminals. It can be one terminal, it can be number of terminals. Okay, so another one was it can be a single terminal. Okay, so that was, I think, your Grebatch normal form. It can be it is again similar to that one of Chomsky normal form. Just let me verify it was the case. Yeah. Okay. So it can be a single terminal followed by a series of non-terminal, or it can be a single terminal. Okay. So it should be of that form. Okay. So before, in most of the question that you will find in the form of you have to convert it into the GNF, there will be nothing, there will be no kind of left recursion. Okay, so that case I will discuss you in the next lecture in that case. So just see this question before continuing this one. A B, and then there is a and then a and then there is a B, and then there is a B, and then B. Okay, so now you have to convert it into the Grebatch normal form. Only the problem lies in this one, because either it should be a terminal followed by a series of terminals. So this is two terminals. So I can call this, that is in Chomsky normal form, but it is not in Grebatch normal form. If you see this one, and there is a followed by a, that is fine. B followed by a B, and then there is a single B here. Okay, so that is also fine. This is completely in Grebatch normal form, if you remember. So there is nothing wrong with it. For B here, it is again in the Grebatch normal form. There is nothing to worry about. Okay, so how to tackle with this kind of a question? You just have to do a substitution. Okay, so in place of this a, you just put the value of a, whatever be the value of a. So how to convert this? So GNF, whenever in this question, if you see, there is nothing, there is no left recursion here. If you remember, left recursion is something like this. If there is a, the left of it, there is a. However, there is a right recursion, but we prefer right recursion. There is no problem in that. So a is on the right hand side. There is nothing wrong in that. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, so now to convert it into GNF, so just start with as the only problem lies in this production. So put the value of a. The value of a is small a followed by a b, that is fine. After that, a b, small b followed by a b. Oh, sorry, a B, a capital B followed by a capital B, and then you put the value of A and it will become B. And just take the production as it is. It is A, and then there is a B, and then there is a B. Okay, so all the productions are as it is. Just keep the question. Now see, a terminal followed by a series of non-terminal, that is fine. A terminal followed by a series of non-terminal, that is also fine. Terminal followed by a terminal, that non-terminal, that is also fine. Okay, so these things are in now GNF. This were also in GNF, and this is also in GNF. Okay, so this is how you solve these kinds of question. Okay, so in mostly in GNF you will not occur a left recursion kind of phenomena, but if I'll take a question, there is one question that is very lengthy. I will discuss it in the next class, not in this one. So there are some problems in the question that I have to just verify it from other books also, that it is correct or not. So that is why I'm holding on to that question. Okay, so just hold it for a minute for that question. I will definitely discuss in the next class. Okay, so another question that you can do is this one, a b s b, and then there is a double. Okay, so just try to do this question if you can. Okay, so if you remember, there is an, I don't think there is a left recursion here, and there is two a's here. Okay, so again, there is in that you just have to provide the substitution principle. Okay, so just try it for a little bit of time. I will tell you the solution in like 1 minute. Okay, so just try it yourself. Okay. To how do you solve this one is it's very simple. So there is a combination of substitution also. Okay. So in the previous question, there is no substitution. You just replace the value of a with this is also kind of substitution, but we do not added any new variable. If you're seeing in this question, we do not added new variable. We just put the value of a in this one, and by putting the value of a in the starting symbol, it comes into a GNF. Okay. So now in this one, if you're seeing what is the problem in this one, there are two A's. Okay, so there are two terminals. First of all, the GNF is of the form that it should there is a terminal followed by a series of non-terminal, and then there can be only one terminal. Okay, so in this way, if you're seeing, either you can put the value of a to be a capital one. So there is a problem here. So I can solve this problem in this one, a followed by a. Now that terminal a. Now this terminal a I can write a tends to I. So this problem is solved. Now in this particular problem, what is happening in this case? So I can it can not be a single a, so there is no chance I can do that, so I have to convert it into in this form. Okay, so how can I convert this into this form? So I can put the value, because this is also already capital and there is a b and there is a b. So what I'll do, I'll take a big B tends to a smaller b. Now it will become a followed by this big B, and then there is a s, and then there is a big B. Okay, so now if you see the I think it is in GNF now, a terminal followed by a down terminal, that is in GNF, a terminal followed by a series of non-terminal, that is in GNF. A terminal, there is a single terminal, that is in GNF. There is a single terminal in this, that is in GNF. Okay, so that is how you solve these kinds of question. Okay, so okay, I'll put more practice in the tutorial part. Don't worry about it. So GNF is very easy to convert. Most of the time, there is in the question there will be no left recursion. Okay, so I will again take a variant where the left recursion is present. Don't worry about that part. I will discuss it in the next lecture. Okay, so just hold on to that one. So for a little bit of time. Okay, so now our next topic. Also, there is something that I have to give you assignment. Okay, so I will discuss that this assignment before giving to you tomorrow. So I will final the assignment, that what exactly what you will be expecting from the assignment and what topics that you have to cover in that part of assignment. Okay, so assignment also account for your 10 marks. So again, I'll have to give you something that will be unique to you. Okay, so don't worry about that part. I will discuss it tomorrow. And now there is the topic that we all are waiting for. That is your push down automata. Okay, so when once we have done our finite automata, that will be the topic now to cover. So all of the things that you have covered in the past about finite automata, that how you are building a particular finite automata, that is very similar. Okay, so that is why I've said in the starting, if you understand finite automata, all the acceptors like push down automata, Turing machine, linear bounded automata are very easy to understand. First, if you understand the starting point, that is your DFA, now these are very easy to understand. Now push down automata is nothing but a finite automata, and there is a memory, and that memory is in the form of a stack. Okay, so just let me share you the PPT here. Okay. Okay, so just let me write. So push down automata is, again, if you remember, one and the same thing. There is nothing changed. Now only one thing changed here, that we need a memory, that we have already discussed, and we have seen a various kind of particular languages that are particularly not regular. Why that languages are not regular? Because that languages required a particular part, that is your memory. Okay, so if you in a finite automata you add a stack in the form of memory, then it will become your push down automata. Okay, so push down automata is an acceptor. Most kindly it accept your C language. Okay, so the C language is wholly written in context-free language. Keep in mind the C language is written in your context-free language, and context-free grammars are defined for generating this context-free language, and it is accepted by your push-down automaton. Okay, so keep that in mind that your C language is written in context-free language. That is a question that is asked by many interviewers. Hello. Okay. Okay, so wait for a minute. Okay. Okay. Now the push down automata is again one and the same thing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tuples. Okay, so the definition it goes like there are 7 tuples of this. Now you will be seeing some new symbols. That new symbol will be your Z, and that then this tau. Okay, so there are there are only 2 new symbols, that is your Z and then there is tau. Everything is same. Okay, so now push down automata is a finite automata with extra memory called a stack. Okay, so extra memory is in the form of stack, which helps the push down automata to recognize context free languages that require a particular kind of memory. If you remember, WWR is one of the context free language that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so in that one also push down automata is also divided into 2 parts. That there is a simple deterministic push down automata, and then there is another push down automata, that is your non-deterministic push down automata. If you remember, the DFA was also in 2 parts. That is, one is your deterministic finite automata, and then there is a non-deterministic finite automata. Okay, so in that context, it is one and the same thing. In that one, DFA is equivalent to NFA. Okay, so whatever is language is accepted by DFA is accepted by NFA, but in this particular case, they are not equivalent in power. Okay, so NDPDA can accept more languages than this PDA. Okay, so there is 1 or 2 languages that is not accepted by deterministic pushdown automata, but that is accepted by non-deterministic pushdown automata. I will tell you about it, don't worry about it. But they are not equivalent in power. Keep that in mind. In finite automata, all the finite automata things like pushdown or like all the finite automata types like Murray-Milley, and then there is a epsilon NFA, NFA, and DFA are all equivalent in power. So all of those are accepting the same languages. Okay, so they are not they are not extensive in power than other. So if DFA is accepting the languages L, it's a set of languages L1. NFA can also accept L1. Okay, so if NFA, but in this particular case, that is not the case. There are some languages that are not accepted by deterministic pushdown automata, but they are accepted by a non-deterministic. So the diagram that I have told you now, it becomes, now this is your regular language. Now this is your context-free language, and this is your non-deterministic context-free language. Okay, so there is something called NCFL. Okay, so that NCFL is accepted by your deterministic pushdown automata, and that this CLF is accepted by your PDA. So it is also termed as PDA or directly deterministic PDA. Okay, so sometimes if they are not using anything, so this is NDPDA, sorry for that, this is NDPDA. So if they are not using anything, so if they are directly saying PDA, it directly means that they are talking about deterministic pushdown automata. So keep in mind that there is a convention that followed here. If they in the question they said about only PDA, then they are talking about DPDA. Keep in mind, they do not, most of the books do not specifically use the D in front of it. But if they are talking about non-deterministic pushdown automata, they will always use N in the starting of NPDA. Keep that in mind. Okay, so non-deterministic and deterministic are two different things. Okay, so that is why the circles also become a different here. So now CFL is also divided into 2 parts. That is your context-free language, that is your deterministic context-free language, and that is your non-deterministic context-free language. Okay, so if you remember the circle, in that particular circle, I used to do this regular grammar, and then there is a context-free grammar or context-free language. And in that language, I just say that this is corresponding, that the acceptor is PD. Now this language is again divided into subparts. Okay, so I will discuss in the end. Don't worry about that part. Now Now this Q, you remember Q is the state set of states. Now this is again the input symbol. Now just keep in mind there is a something called a tau. Okay, so tau is also referred to as push down symbol, or you can also refer to as stack symbols. Okay, so stack symbols like stack, you can also call it as stack alphabet. Okay, so stack alphabet means that what exactly is alphabet? If input alphabet is the number of things that you are inputting. In the similar way, that whatever you are inputting on the stacks are called your stack alphabet. Okay. Now Z is your initial symbol that is present at the top of the stack. So always keep in mind that whenever we are doing a push down automata, so there will be a symbol called some books use a Z or some books use a Z naught. So Z naught will be always be present at the top of the stack. So, okay, so that is the indicator that your stack is empty. Okay, so if your stack is at the top of the stack, so how can we recognize that the stack is empty? So if at the top of the stack Z naught is present, you can directly say my stack is empty. If any other symbol other than Z naught is present on the stack, you can directly say that the stack is not empty. There is something on the stack. Okay, so Z node or Z is just a initial push down symbol that is used to indicate that the stack is empty. So something will always be present in the top of the stack. Okay, so don't think that there is nothing in the stack. That one symbol is always kept to indicate that the stack is also empty. So that is there. Now tau is this stack symbol, or it is called a stack alphabet. Whatever you are putting on the stack is called your stack alphabet. Okay, so now the transition symbol are now I can also discuss the both of the transition symbol in the same thing. So just wait. The transition symbol can be defined for a non-deterministic or deterministic. So there are two things. So I will discuss these two symbols because if you remember, I will also compare the symbols that are in DFA or NDVA. Okay, so in the previous one, DFA, we have used input symbol, that is your Q, and then input alphabet, and it is going towards all the set of state. For NDFA, everything is say the transition symbol. The transition symbol was q into e, and then there is a 2 raised to power q. So this 2 raised to power q shows that for at a particular state, at a particular input, it can go towards a power set of different directions. Okay, so it can go towards in one or more states. It can go in any number of states for getting the same symbol. Okay, so now in this similar way, push down automata is again this is PDA and DPDA. So for DPDA, or I can also call this as PDA. Keep in mind, if it is PDA, I can also think that it is called up DPDA. Now the transition symbol for this particular thing was Q into, then it is saying that either it can be a input alphabet or then there is nothing in it. Okay, so in this particular case, what happens if you draw a push down automata, either it will be your input alphabet, that is the set of symbol that it can be A or B, or there is something called that acceptance state. So it epsilon is also always included in push down automata. So in the end state, we have to include a epsilon. That is why it's saying, so either it can be any set of symbol, input symbol, or when you want to go to the final state, this is used. So that is one and the same thing. Okay, so it will be either one of this. If there is an input, there is some input symbol like A and B, this part will be followed. If their input symbols are finished and you just want to go to the final state, then this part will be followed. Okay, so that is why there is a union. Either it can be this or it can be this. It cannot be both at the same time. And then there is something called your this tau, and now it is saying that it says that q into this star. Okay, so I will tell you about it. Don't worry about that part. I just tell you now. For I just write the expression and I will explain you what is the meaning of it. So for NDPDA, everything is same. So just the thing changed here is q and 2 raised to power q. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, the thing change here is q and 2 raised to power q. Everything is same. Now in this one also, just take this one, the same expression, everything is same, only it will be 2 raised to power q into this one. Okay, so what exactly is the meaning of Q into this one? Now understand this particular thing, that it is saying that if you are present at a particular state in a finite automata, if you are starting at a particular state by getting a input, by getting an input of input symbol, or by getting a by getting an input of an input symbol or a epsilon, you can also get a input of a stack alphabet. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? Suppose this is the diagram. Now if you're seeing, you can think of it like this is your input symbol, this is your input tape. Now from this tape, that is your finite control, and then this finite automata. In that particular case, you are standing at a state, something called state Q. Suppose they're standing at a state Q. Now at a state Q, you will either get a input alphabet. So I can either get an input alphabet, or I can either get your epsilon. So suppose you get an input alphabet, and then when you get an input alphabet, you have to put this input alphabet at the top of bottom of the stack, or top of the stack, or something that is related to a stack. So this is your stack alphabet. So you have to put this input at the top, push, or something you have to push, or you have to pop. Okay, so that is why it is given like that. And then it can move to another state, and by moving it to another state, so it can move it to another state. Now this is your state. Now what happens? First of all, when you are you are at the state, you will get an input, you will get an input, and then take that input, and that input can be transformed onto the stack. Suppose it is a push operation, so for that it can be transformed onto the stack. Now for that, you can remain in the same state, or you can go it any other set of state. And then you also have to say that is your stack is pushed or popped. So something is also changed with the stack. So that is what it is saying. So if you are, I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. I think it is a little bit of difficult for you to understand. If I take a simple example, suppose that I'm standing at a Q naught state, and I got an input of A. I got an input of A, and at the top of the stack there is a Z naught. Okay, so now this is your state. Now you got an input alphabet, and that at the top of the stack there is something called a Z naught. Okay, so at the top of the stack there is Z naught. Okay, now the transition is it is going towards the state Q1, and what is it? If I want to push it, I'm pushing it, and I'm saying that now the stack is changed to AZ naught. Okay, so now what it is exactly saying, the transition here. Now see, this is your Q. This is either your input alphabet, or epsilon can be there. So I'm considering here an input alphabet and something that is related to a stack. Now in this particular, the stack alphabet is your is Z naught. So that is written in this way. Now what happens is that after getting an input of A, it is going towards another state. Now this is your Q, and the stack symbol is changed. Now what exactly is happening here? So if I put the stack at the top of the stack, now if you're seeing at the starting there is a Z naught. If I put a, it will become AZ naught. Okay, so I'm indicating now my stack symbol is changed to AZ naught. So that is the meaning of this particular transition symbol. Okay, so it means that when you get an input alphabet, you have to change the stack symbol also accordingly. Okay, so there are two things: input alphabet as well as your stack symbol. Okay, so one thing is added in here, that is your stack symbol. Okay, so now see, there is something called instantaneous description. Okay, so instantaneous is an informal notation of how a push down automata computes input string and makes the decision that a string is accepted or rejected. Okay, so something, this particular thing is called instantaneous description. So what exactly it means, that this is also called an instantaneous description. Okay, so this, by looking at this, you can easily recognize that at what particular states are you in, and what is the input, and what is present at the top of the stack. Okay, so that is your top of the stack. Keep in mind that it is always your top of the stack. It can be alpha, it can be anything, but if the stack is empty here, it will always be a Z naught. Okay, so if the stack is empty here, it will always be a Z or a Z naught. So it depends upon you. You can use a Z, or some books use Z naught. So that is your choice. Okay. So now see, there is another notation called turnstile notation. Okay, so some books use this, some books don't. So again, some books only use a arrow, so to indicate that there is some kind of a change in the state. Okay, so that particular sign indicates the same thing, is called a turnstile notation and represent one move. Okay, so if you do this one, it indicates one move, and if you do this a star, it indicates a sequence of moves. Okay, so if you're seeing, this is your state, don't worry about it. I think this is just a starting. We will do a plenty of question, don't worry about that. And then there is a B, that is your input, and that there is a T, so that is again top of the stack. Okay, so now it is saying that after from this state it is moving to this state. Now this state is another state, that is your Q, and another input. This implies that while taking the transformation from state P to Q, from state P to Q, so this is also a state, the input symbol B is consumed. So it is saying the input symbol B is consumed. At the top of the stack, T is replaced by another string, that is your top of the stack alpha. Okay, so now it is saying that now the top of the stack, first of all, there was because there is a Z node and then there is a T present. Okay, so now what happens, the input is consumed, it moves to another state. From it is present at P and it moved to another state Q, and the top of the stack was T, it becomes a alpha, and at Q there is also another input, that is your W, that is received there. There is nothing changed in it, but you have to define it in another turnstile notation in the next one, that Q, W and A. What happens after Q, W and A, you can do it like this. Okay, so this is input for the next state. Okay, so that is also another notation that some books use. There is nothing specific to it, but I think we will prefer this notation. That is the best notation, that is common in every book. Okay, so there are two ways to draw your pushdown automata. First way is you can draw it by a transition diagram, and second way, and the most preferred way in many books, that is you can directly draw it by transition symbols. Okay, so you can do it like this. Okay, so example that is given like this, you can also do it. So I will explain both of the notation and I will tell you which one to follow. Okay, so now the question that we were still doing till here, the most popular question in pushdown automata, if you remember, we are not able to draw a raised to power n, b raised to power n, where n is greater than equal to 1, or it can be 0 also, but I'm preferring here as 1. Okay, so in that particular question, if you remember, we need a memory to remember the number of a's and the number of b's, and we are not able to draw a DFA for this particular question. DFA, if you're not able to draw DFA, you cannot be able to draw NFA also. Okay, so now why this particular question failed here? Because we require a memory. Okay, so now in this particular context, that when we are building a pushdown automata, the memory element is already present here. Okay, so now before diving into the question, so just understand how this particular question works. Okay, so the input alphabet here is your AB, so you know, because this is given in the this is given in such a way that you can understand that there are two inputs, that is A and B, and the number of A's should be equal to the number of B's, but it should be in the particular order, that A should be followed by a B. After B, A cannot come. Okay, so that is particularly have to be followed, that after B, A cannot come. So keep that in mind. So that is the important thing that most people forget about it. I don't know why, that after B, A cannot come. So this is given in the same format. Okay, so what you do, you just take a stack and try to devise that what exactly will be possible here, and how can you solve this problem. Okay, so I'll give you a simple solution, that whenever there are A coming, so whenever there are A coming, you push the number of E's. Okay, so suppose there is A, and then there are B's. Okay, so because it will be followed in that order, so whenever there are A coming, I will push. Now in the starting of the stack, there will be a Z node, and whenever there is A push coming, I will pushing the A. Again there is a come, push A, and then again there is a come. Okay, so now whenever there is a P come, B come, just pop the number of E's. Okay, now you are here, here, here. Now when you got here, now the what you do, pop A. Okay, so now again a B come, now you do pop B. Now what you do, again B come, pop A. Now when you reach at the stack, if there is a Z node present, you can directly say that the number of A's and number of B's are equal. Okay, so now take a counter case like A and then B. Okay, so now in that case, what will happen? A will be pushed. A will be pushed here again. Now for B, one A will be popped. Okay, so at the top of the stack there is a. So it means that the number of A's and number of B's are not equal. Okay, so that is the simple case. Before designing a particularly push down automata, you just take a look at it, that how your stack will work. Okay, so now because it is a deterministic thing, that you have to think of all the possible scenarios that are possible. Okay, so the first scenario will be then the first scenario that there will be a Z node and a come. Okay, so there will be a Z node and then how do we call it, with that at the top of the stack there is nothing and A comes. Okay, so that scenario is possible. Yeah, so if A comes, so keep in mind Z node, how can I say this one, that there will be some state and at Z node there is a come. Okay, so second scenario will be there is there is already a at the top of the stack. So this is another scenario, A is at the top of the stack, then another A come. Okay, so another A come, that is your second scenario. Third scenario will be that that there is a already there and that A will be already on the stack, and then B come. Okay, so that is your second scenario, and I don't think there are any other scenarios. So these are the three scenarios on which your push down automata will be based on. If you are seeing that, first of all there will be A, because always A will be at the starting. So always A, because B cannot come before A, so always it has to be followed A followed by a B. Then this scenario will there, and after a number of A's the top of the stack will be A and you have to push another A, and another bin will be there will be. Okay, so only these three scenarios can come in a stack. So how to design this one? So keep these three scenarios in mind. Okay, so now stack. Start with the again thing, the state transition diagram. So I'm just drawing the same thing. So Q node, now this is your starting state. At Q node, now how to write your transition inputs. So see, now at Q node, it means that you are standing at a Q node state. Now what you do, just sorry for that. Just wait for a minute. Okay, so if now when you are present here, what can the scenario will be possible? So first of all, the scenario is that your stack is empty. It means that Z node is present at the top of the stack. Okay, so now first of all, if I will say that when A comes, when your input is A and at the top of the stack Z node is present, and at the top of the stack Z node is present, what you do, you push the A. Okay, you push A here. So now you just take a snapshot of the stack, it will become A Z node. So you have to write it like this. Okay, so now input, this is your input. Whenever you are present, whenever there A comes and at the top of the stack, this is your top of the stack, TOS. And then whenever there is a comes and the top of the stack is Z node, you have to push this A towards the Z node. So it will become, you take a snapshot of this one, it will become A Z node. Okay, so that is your snapshot. Okay, so now first scenario that is already taken care of, that whenever there is a Z node and A, this will happen. Okay, so now the second scenario will be, now it will not happen again if you're seeing, because whenever if you push a Z node on that one, so now the another possible scenario will be, now A is already there, then you have to push again another A. Okay, so for that one, what will happen? So A again comes and at the top of the stack there is A, then what you do, you will again push the A and it will become the snapshot. Take the snapshot, it will be a double A. Okay, so now you're present here, A is there, A, B, B, B. Now A come, you push the A, now it will become this move. Now second A come, the A is already present. What you do, you push that A also there. Now the snapshot becomes, already take the snapshot of two things. The snapshot becomes AA. So I'm putting AA here. Okay. So I don't think there is any other scenarios that is possible there. So now these two scenarios are taken care of. Okay. So when there is a Z node and A comes, and then there is another A comes. Okay. So that is already taken care. Now what you want, now there is a scenario that there is a present and then B comes. Okay. So when there is a present and there is a B comes, so it means when there is a input B, I'm changing the state. I will tell you why I'm changing the state. Just stick with me. Just bear with me for a second. Whenever there is a B comes, and the top of the stack there is A. What you will do? You will pop. Okay, so the pop symbol is this, that you have to pop whatever is at the top of the stack. Okay, so now B comes. I have pop anything that is on the top of the stack. Now I have to again regularly popping it if this scenario comes. Okay, so I'm regularly popping it. I'm going to the state Q2. If again there is a B, again there is a B input of B, and then again there is a top of the stack, there is a, then again you have to pop it. Okay, so that will make sure that all your A's will be popped. Okay, so if there are three A's, this will be popped, this will be popped, this will be popped, and now you are standing here Z naught. Okay, so now this is where you have to go to the final state. So that is why to go to the final state you have to put it like this, that now this is your epsilon move. Okay, so keep in mind when you have to go to the final state that you always have to write epsilon move here. So epsilon, and this is now just you are seeing a Z node, so that your final state is already denoted by this. At the end of that there is a Z node, you just go to the final state. Okay, so that is denoted by this particular thing, epsilon, Z node and Z node. Okay, so that particular thing is called your acceptance by a final state. Okay, so this particular symbol is called as acceptance by final state. Okay, so this whenever you want to go to the final state, this particular thing will always be repeated. Okay, so this if you understand this, that is well and fine. Don't worry if you don't understand, because we do plenty of question, but still it is very easy to understand what exactly we are doing. We are starting with the input symbol A. Now there is another reason. Most of you will be thinking why I change the state. Why do I change the state? That I can again put the B here also at the first state. Okay, so that thing will be the most confusion in all of the questions. Okay, so how to change the state, when to change the state, that will be your confusion. Okay, so if you're seeing, I want, if I take it this question as now I write like this, A Z naught. Now I'm pushing A when there is nothing on the stack, and I'm pushing the number of A's, any number of A's that are coming. Now if I write like this, B followed by A, then there is a epsilon. Okay, so that looks fine, but because it can either be this move, it can either be this move, and if I see this move, suppose you are standing at here, A. Suppose this is Z dot, then there is a A. Okay, so suppose if you do like this, what happens in that one? Suppose if you're thinking that it will be fine for this one, for AAA and triple B's, it will be fine. That is fine. So if I define this one, and also the another one was already there, so this is in the loop. Okay, so it can be your final state. You will be thinking that it will be my final state. Okay, so for no check. And here that starting state you got when at you are at the starting state, you got a Z naught, so you will follow this production, so it will push the A towards the end of it. Now when there is a and then there is another push another B, so that is also fine. So again A will be pushed, so for that one B is there, and at the top of the stack A is there, so we'll pop it, so that is fine. So A B B B is in the language, that is fine, that is, there is no problem in that. But what happens there, suppose some question is like this, A B, Now this particular string is not in the language. Okay, so if you're seeing this particular string is not in the language because A has to be followed by a B. After B, A cannot come. Okay, so now C check at Z node when you get an input of A. Yeah, what you do? You put A. You put A. Yeah, absolutely fine. Now you will get an input of B. Now when you get an input of B, you pop A. That is absolutely fine. Now again you get you get an input of A. Now see input of A Z naught. Okay, now there is at the top of the stack there is Z naught. Again you have to push it. I push it. Now again I got a B. Now B and at the top of the stack is a what to do pop. Okay, so at the pop. Now at the end I got nothing, I got Z naught. So it means that AB is also accepted, but it is not the part of the language. So that is why I have to change the state to make sure that A will be followed by a B. Okay, so if I define everything in one step, it will not make sure that A will always be followed by B. So that is why I've changed the step here. So you have to check it yourself at every step that what to do and what to follow, that how to change the state. Okay, so you can go with this way also. So this is your way by defining a transition diagram. You can do in the you can draw a transition diagram of pushdown automata, but most books most books used another notation, that is your transition notation. Okay, so how can you define this same thing? So they use these kind of things. So transition. Okay, so at q node when you see an input of A and suppose sorry for that, when you see the input of the say the instantaneous description one and the top of the stack is Z node, it is transformed. You can say equal to, or you can use this symbol, or you cannot use this symbol. That is a totally different that is a turnstile notation. That is a totally different one. Okay, so we are using simply this one that is mostly preferred in all the books. You will see you take every book, this particular notation will be followed. Now take it will now at Q node by getting an input of A at Q node at getting an input of A, you are staying at Q node, and what you are doing, you are pushing A. Okay, so it will be pushing A Z node. Okay, so now at I think A is defined, so another one will be Q node when there is again A, and at the top of the stack there is A. So these two are different notations. So when you are at the Q when you are at Q node and you got input of A and at the top of the stack is Z node, you stayed at the state and you pushed the A. Okay, so that is represented by this one. And now this second one, at whenever you are at Q node and you got an input of A, you what you do now, you are again staying at Q node, and you are again pushing. So it will be right. Take a snapshot and write here. Okay, so again this represents your push. Okay, so just wait for a second. Okay, sorry for that. And now these two notations are already defined here. Now move with the third one, this one. So now when this is your first one, this is your second one, and that is your third one. And when you are at Q node state, so this is again the transition symbol. When you are at Q node state and you got an input of B, and at the top of the stack, what is it at the top of the stack? The top of the stack is A. Okay, so whenever you got this input, what you do, you change the state. Now your state will be Q1. Now your state will be sorry, this is Q1. Okay, so now your state will be Q1, and what you do, you have popped. So just write a pop symbol here. So this represent here a pop symbol. Now fourth one, now you are at Q1. Now you again, sorry, you add at Q1. So at Q1 you got a B, and at the top of the stack, what is it? There is a. So you got a B, and at the top of the stack there is a. You stayed at Q1, you stayed at Q1, you stayed at Q1, and what you do, you again start popping. Okay, so that represents this state. Now at the final state, there is another way to describe this also. So I'll define both the ways. So the first way for the fifth one, okay, so the fifth one is that most books followed is this one, this symbol. You are at Q node and you got nothing. So input is nothing. So it can be epsilon, and at the top of the stack there is a Z node. Okay, so you write this Z node. Now what you do, now you are going to the final state. So you are going to the final state, and again you do not delete the Z naught, so just Z naught will remain as it is. Okay, so Z naught will remain as it is. Okay, so it can be defined by this one. So this particular thing is called acceptance by a final state. Okay, so acceptance by a final state. Okay, so there is another way also, that is acceptance by empty stack. Okay, so how can you write this particular expression again? So I prefer this notation, but there is another notation also. And the final one is you just write Q F and then epsilon. Okay, so you can also do this like this one also. So it is just saying that if you are at Q1, sorry, there is no F, there is no F. Okay, so it is just saying at Q1 you again got, and at the end of it you got a Z naught. So what you do, you also pop that symbol. Okay, so it is just saying when you got a Z naught, you can pop that symbol. So there is nothing on the stack. Okay, so that is called acceptance by empty stack. Acceptance by empty stack. So both of these notation can be followed, but I prefer this one. Okay, so that is a whole notation because I do not want my Z naught symbol to be away from the stack, because this is kind of a pointer that we got to know that our stack is full or empty. Okay. Okay, so don't worry, we will discuss more question in the next lecture. If you don't understand it, I will again, in every question, I will repeat the procedure. Don't worry about it. But for your practice, you should yourself try this question where W, the number of A's equal to the number of B's. Okay, so just W is a string. Okay, so W is any string. It belongs to A and B. Okay. So
Sir,
I will share. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
sir,
Okay. Yes, yes.
sir, is this a NPD or DPD?
This is your DPD. Okay, so DPD. I will talk NPDA later, but this is your deterministic pushdown automata. Okay, so non-deterministic pushdown automata will be like something like this, that they are the same states. Okay, so something like this one, suppose A Z naught, and then there is a Z naught, and then for this state again same state A Z naught, it is going to another state. Okay, so that will be your non-deterministic. Getting the same input, they are going towards different states. Okay, so that is a talk of another day. So don't, I'm talking about only deterministic pushdown automata. Okay, you still have any doubt, you just ask me. And okay, so I will share with you tomorrow that what is the plan of the assignment. Okay, so I will give you ample amount of time to complete the assignment. Don't worry about that part. And assignment contributes to your 10 marks. So it's